GetFund. That is in the year 2000. And then we know GetFund is in, that His Excellency, the President of the Republic, is initiating in his research agenda. And it's not something new. We have done it before, and we are going to do it again. Agriculture is the backbone of the economy. We know usually when there is a shortage of food in schools, what it creates. And this initiation is going to help so we improve a situation where there wouldn't be shortages and other things. And GetFund, we are the solely funded agency. The Chief of Staff has directed that we should make funding available for the project. And we want to assure him that his directive is not going to go in vain. We'll respect it and make sure that this project excels. I want to use this opportunity to thank him because he has taken this project as an administrator accountable. And we want to assure him that he's not going to call us to account for him. We'll make sure that the work is going to account for him. So I want to thank everybody, all heads of department, and tell them that today, GetFund today is not GetFund yesterday. We are the solely sponsor or funding agency of the free SHS. And if we weren't doing our work well, we would have heard Charles making a lot of administrator to find out whether monies have been released to free SHS or not. And I strongly believe we have Charles here, they can confirm to the fact that we have been working with them. And currently, the free SHS is moving smoothly. So the Agama lizard who falls from a high Iroko tree says, if nobody praises it, it will praise himself. So if nobody praises GetFund, GetFund will praise ourselves. So Chief, the directives you've given us, Charles is here, they will tell you that we haven't gone wayward. We go according to your directive. And we want to make sure that the school farm initiation that you have taken as your baby is something that is going to yield results. And we'll make sure that in the next 2 years, you will be able to see the results of the school fund. Thank you very much.
We have got a lot of assurances from the money man. And that's the reason why we had to wait for him for these assurances. So stakeholders here in present, we have heard for ourselves, and GetFund has acknowledged that they will do the needful as they have been mandated to do by the Office of the Chief of Staff. And so thank you so much, Honorable Dandawa, for that assurance. And we are moving steadily into the event. We've done quite well so far. At this point, shall I have the pleasure to invite the Director for Presidential Initiative in Agriculture and Agribusiness, the lead promoter of this initiative under the Office of the President, Dr. Peter Buama Otukono. Let's appreciate him.
Thank you very much. I think St. Thomas Aquinas, you have a special way of clapping. I have been trying to exercise it for the past 1 hour with Chief. And we have not been able to pass this exam. But let me confess that I am doing better than Chief. Chief, before we leave here, I'm sure you would have been able to master it. Thank you very much. Our distinguished Chief of Staff, the indefatigable Honorable Julius Debra, colleagues, heads of institutions from our partnering agencies, distinguished headmaster of St. Thomas Aquinas SHS, regional metropolitan municipal district directors of education, representatives of CHAS, of NAT, of NAGRAT, of CCTGH, of the National Council of PTAs, representatives from the National Union of Ghana Students, representatives from the regional. I'm indeed excited to welcome you all to this important conversation, a consultative meeting for Trust Fund, the Ghana Education Service, and the National Service Authority by the Directorate of Presidential Initiatives in Agric and Agribusiness at the Office of the President to transform Ghana's senior high schools into vibrant hubs of food production, experimental learning, and agricultural innovation. This initiative is targeting over 15,000 acres of cultivated strategic food crops to support the food and nutritional needs of our schools. This initiative is directly addressing Ghana's food security needs while significantly reducing government's cost burden in providing adequate, healthy, and nutritious food for our wards. Across the nation, the increasing demand for quality food in our schools cannot be overemphasized. Yet, with the current fiscal rigidities, the cost of feeding our students has become an ever-increasing monstrous burden on government budget that requires innovative solutions to mitigate. In 2024 alone, the government of Ghana spent over 2.8 billion Ghana cedi on feeding about 1.37 million students in second cycle institutions. This amount is not only alarming and unsustainable, but also a compelling reason to rethink our school feeding strategies. As we strive to reset our economy and remodel our socioeconomic fundamentals and create sustainable opportunities for our young people, we cannot afford to do the same things and expect different results. The initiative seeks, among other things, to help reduce our import dependency on externally produced food crops, save foreign exchange, build capacity of our young people, create sustainable jobs, and minimize post-harvest losses by integrating our production into structured school farm-based supply chains. Socially, this initiative would strengthen the market fundamentals and promote women participation in agribusiness by linking women traders and local markets to the school farms to allow smooth trade and commodity exchange among these school farms. The school farm initiative is projected to save between 30 to 50% of the annual expenditure on feeding our second cycle institutions, equivalent to about 840 million to 1.4 billion Ghana cedi each year. These resources, when freed, can provide the fiscal muscle to tackle critical priority areas of education and economic development. The School Farm Initiative provides and technology-driven intensive livestock production in cultivating our food for the schools. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to inject a dose of sustainability into this initiative, so as to stand the test of time, we are putting together a robust and efficient management strategy in place to manage these farms. All beneficiary schools under this initiative shall have a school farm committee to be chaired by the headmaster or the headmistress, with the school farm manager and school farm assistants, including student leaders and teachers as members of this committee, in order to provide leadership and accountability support for the program. All school farms shall be managed by trained and qualified agriculturists employed as non-teaching staff to serve as school farm managers or school farm assistants under the Ghana Education Service, with labor support from the National Service personnel posted to these schools for that purpose. This shall provide opportunities for about 1,400 to 2,100 unemployed agri-college graduates, whilst creating between 5,000 to 10,000 indirect jobs from input supply, agro-processing, logistics, and marketing opportunities. Thousands of students will also graduate each year with hands-on skills in modern farming and agribusiness, enhancing their employability and entrepreneurship prospects in a country where youth unemployment stands at a staggering 13.6% as at 2024. The Minister of Food and Agriculture, Honorable Eric Opoku, has pledged to award the Best School Farm and the Best School Farmer as part of the National Farmers Day Award for schools and students who exemplify extraordinary productivity outcomes from their farms. And implementation efficiency, the regional school farm managers shall work closely with the district and regional directors of GES, National Service Authority, and the departments of Agric in monitoring, coordinating, and reporting on the performance of the school farms. The initiatives shall provide inputs ranging from seeds, certified seeds, crop protection materials, crop growth products, including organic and inorganic fertilizer, mechanization equipment, technical support, training in climate-smart agricultural practices, and the supply of quality animal feed and breed stock for livestock production. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this initiative is not simply about farming, because we know most of the schools do some kind of farming. It is about transforming our schools into centers of agro-innovation, practical learning, agro-productivity, and food self-reliance. It is about training a new generation to view agriculture not as a last resort, but as a field of dignity, innovation, and nation building. Students would be engaged in every stage of the production, from planning, cropping, livestock selection, to its management, and in the process, gain practical experience in climate-smart, sustainable agriculture, whilst developing their leadership skills, their problem-solving skills, and their entrepreneurial skills. Globally, improving student nutrition and embedding practical knowledge with the educational system. From its hand in hand, the impact on learning and well-being is profound. This is why today's meeting is so important. It is not just about presenting a government program. It is about co-creation, co-ownership. Our directors of education, CHAS, teacher unions, PTA, student bodies and student leaders, local assemblies. Your guidance and commitment would be the difference between a promising idea and a transformative national program. The partners of this initiative, PIA, the Presidential Initiative in Agric and Agribusiness, Get Fund, Ghana Education Trust Fund, GES, Ghana Education Service, and the National Service Authority are united in their commitment to ensure its success, with each playing a vital role in this process. Get Fund is providing the funding support to power this initiative. The Ghana Education Service is integrating the program into the school system and supporting the formation of agro clubs on campuses, mobilizing its structures for effective supervision. The National Service Authority is deploying young graduates to support in the efficient management of the farms, and our directorate at the Office of the President is driving the vision, facilitating, coordinating, and providing the technical oversight to ensure every part of this initiative works seamlessly. Together, these commitments form the backbone of the School Farm Initiative, turning the President's vision into a tangible impact. In the coming weeks, next month, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, upon whose vision this initiative is birthed, will officially launch the School Farm Initiative at Kpeje Senior High School in the whole West District of the Volta region. This launch will symbolize more than the start of a program. It will mark a new era where schools become active partners in food production, nutritional improvement, and the training of future agripreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me seize this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, our boss, the President John Dramani Mahama, for the immense support and leadership in this mission to not only reset agriculture, but also to reset agro-education. And to our indefatigable Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra, his immense support for this initiative is amazing. And his leadership and guidance is what is bringing this vision to life. Ladies and gentlemen, let us note that a child who learns to grow food will never go hungry. A school that cultivates its own food will never lack. And a nation that equips its youth with agricultural knowledge and skills would always be food secured. Together, let us sow the seeds of knowledge, nurture them with commitment, and harvest not only food, but a generation of an empowered, skilled, and self-reliant young Ghanaians who will feed both their schools and the future of our beloved nation. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Thank you, Director Dr. Peter Boama Otukono, Director, Presidential Initiative in Agriculture and Agribusiness. That was indeed a resounding speech. We may want to appreciate him again. So if you just joined us, we are at the consultative meeting of the School Farm Initiative, a presidential initiative under the Office of the President and with its partners, Ghana Education Service, Get Fund, Ghana Education Trust Fund, and National Service Authority. These are the key partners spearheading this initiative. And we're privileged to have the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana with us. And we are happy to say that the Chief of Staff is taking good notes of what is happening over here. And so in due time, Chief would come to us and speak with us. Let me acknowledge some few persons who have joined us. We have the Regional Director of Education here with us, Ajia Katumi. Let me get the name correctly so that I don't crucify. Katumi Nantongma Ata Mrs. Forgive me, Mommy, for crucifying your name. And she's here with the Deputy Regional Education Director, Mr. Ransford Kumavo, also with us. And we have leaders of CHAS, that's a Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High School Leadership with us here. We have the Ghana National Association of Teachers Leadership with us here. We have the National Association of Graduate Teachers also here with the NAGRAT. We have the Coalition of Concerned Teachers of Ghana Leadership here with us. The Ghana National Council of PTAs Leadership with us. The National Union of Ghana Students Leadership also here with us. And we have our regional SRCs also here with our student leaders. And let me mention that we have students from Methodist Days Senior High School. We have Ada Sectec. We have Presec La, Ada Senior High School, Presec Legon. We have Pram Pram, Odogono Senior High School. We have the host institution, Aquinas present in their large numbers. We have Chemu Senior High School, we have the Blue, we have the West Africa Senior High School, and we have Achimota Senior High School. Our student leaders are heavily present here, and we want to acknowledge all of you and thank you for making time to be with us. And yes, so on to the big one. And as you may be aware, our special guest today is the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. And as you've heard previous speakers said, he has keen interest in this initiative, and that's why he's taking time off his busy schedule to be here with us. And so we don't take his presence for granted at all. And so I won't speak much. Let me have the singular privilege and honor to invite the Honorable Julius Debra. And let's rise and welcome the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. Let's do it better.
Please sit. Mr. Headmaster, in fact, I've struggled throughout to learn how your boys clap. It's very, very unique, and I loved it. Guys, well done. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, the Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness at the Office of the President, the Deputy Administrator of the GET Fund, who just assured us, in fact, assured me that they are going to make sure the necessary funding is provided. Thank you. The Deputy Director General of Ghana Education Service, the Director General National Service Authority, the Regional Directors and District Directors of Education, Leadership of Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Coalition of Concerned Teachers of Ghana, CCTGH, National Council of PTS, Conference of Managers of Education Units, National Union of Ghana Students, NOCS, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be here this morning for the School Farm Initiative Consultative meeting. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I want to congratulate the Directorate of Presidential Initiative in Agriculture and Agribusiness, PIA, and all partners, the Ghana Education Trust Fund, Ghana Education Service, National Service, for working together to bring this initiative to light. Our gathering today is not only about farms, it is about the future of Ghana's agriculture and the central role young people play in shaping the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the President's vision for agriculture is clear. He has placed it at the center of the National Research Agenda, calling for a transformation that makes agriculture the backbone of food security, youth employment, and inclusive growth. This vision seeks to move us from dependency to productivity, from subsistence to competitiveness, and from viewing agriculture as a last resort to embracing it as a modern, innovative enterprise. The School Farm Initiative is one of the practical ways to achieve this vision. He believes by embedding agriculture into our schools, we are planting the seed for self-reliance, creativity, and entrepreneurship in our young people. But we must all understand that the success of this initiative depends on collective effort and shared responsibility. Government, through the Presidential Initiative in Agric and Agribusiness, will provide enabling policies, logistical support, and national coordination needed to make the program thrive. The Ghana Education Service must ensure that agriculture is woven into teaching and learning, not as punishment, but as practical tool for education. School heads and CHAS must provide leadership at the institutional level to make the farms vibrant and sustainable. GET Fund, as we just heard, has an important role to play in providing funding to enhance the success of this initiative. The National Service Authority, with their experience, is also expected to provide trained personnel, especially agricultural graduates, to support the management of the school farms. Equally, this initiative cannot succeed without the full support of our teachers and parents. I therefore call on NAGRAT, NAT, CCTGH, and practical skills and values that complement classroom learning. Teachers are the center of shaping the mindset of our youth, and their commitment will determine the success of this school farm project. Parents must see school farms as an investment in their children's future, an investment that strengthens nutrition, reduces food costs, and equips students with lifelong skills. With the support of PTAs, we can make this initiative successful and sustainable. To our students, this initiative is an opportunity for you to gain experimental agriculture and entrepreneurial skills and knowledge that will not only prepare you for the future career, but also equip you to contribute to Ghana's food security agenda. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I want to assure you that government is fully committed to this initiative. We see it as a legacy project, one that ties together education, agriculture, and youth empowerment. We will mobilize institutions, resources, and partnerships to ensure that school farms are not just projects of today, but foundations for tomorrow. As we deliberate here today, I urge all of us to be bold and practical. Let us ensure that School Farms Initiative becomes a source of knowledge, food security, and inspiration for both our schools, students, and nation. In closing, let me reaffirm that if we succeed with this initiative, we will be contributing to national food security, youth empowerment, and the building of a resilient future for Ghana. This reminds me, when we were kids, during General A.K. Achampon's era, they had a national project known as Operation Feed Yourself. I'm sure most of you here are familiar with that project. As a matter of fact, it was so well promoted that myself and my kid brother, I think we were about 7 and 5 then, every day we go to my dad and said, Dada, fish na nitina yari no usi edua fifi. Literally meaning that if we plant the head of the fish that we just ate, will it germinate and grow? And my father will go like, yes, you every morning go and put water on it, keep watering it, the fish shall grow. That was how intense the promotion of agriculture had been embedded in the psyche of the Ghanaian then. And I believe we can do that again. But whilst on our way here, I was speaking a chat with my driver. And of course, he knew why we were coming here. And he said, Basse, this thing that you people are doing, you have to talk to the headmasters to reconsider using weeding as a punishment to the students. Because if a child does something wrong, and the only option of punishing them is to add them to weed, they grow thinking that weeding or farming is a bad thing. So I will appeal to you to look at other, so that they will see farming as something attractive and not as a punishment. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Let's do it bigger for our Chief of Staff. It's a very big one to have the Chief of Staff of the Republic share a moment with us. And I'm super excited. That's why we're having this consultative meeting to dialogue, engage, and refine the policy since heads and student and teacher unions. And so we want to appreciate the Chief of Staff for making time to be with us this afternoon. And let me mention that this initiative is under the Office of the President. We need to emphasize the fact that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is spearheaded this initiative, and that is his baby. We have the partner, we have GES as partners, we have Get Fund as partners, and we have the National Service Authority as partners. And you have heard this afternoon the key roles each of these institutions are playing, and that's why we are here to have this program. Let me acknowledge the presence of our partners from Fori Limited, who are partners to the presidential initiative in agric and agribusiness. And we want to thank you for making time to join us at this program. We have heard the Chief of Staff speak. We'll move to Thank you. You know, you can't keep the Chief of Staff here for the whole day. He needs to attend to the nation's business. And so the Chief of Staff, or the Honorable Julius Deborah, will take leave of us. And as he does, let's thank him and appreciate him with a big round of applause. Let's continue till the Chief of Staff leaves the building. Thank you, Aquinas. Let's resume our seats. I need some orientation from the students of Aquinas, how they do this. And Father, your students are amazing. At this point, we'll move to the key or the most important part of this gathering, which is the consultative dialogue, the open forum, stakeholder engagement. And of course, that's the main reason why we invited every one of us to this gathering. And we're going to do it in this particular order. We have representatives of the various groups here. And as I did mention earlier, I may want to, repeat that. We have Charles leadership over here. We have Nat Nagrat leadership over here. We have CCTGH leadership over here. We have the National Union of Ghana Students leadership over here. We have the Conference of Managers of Education Units leadership over here. And we have our students, the Regional SRC leadership over here. And we have the Ghana National Council of PTAs leadership over here. If there's any group that I haven't mentioned, please do draw my attention. So we are going to bodies or institutions that I have mentioned. So we would have reps from these institutions give us their initial. Once we get that row through, we would open it up for any individual over here who has any suggestion, comment, contribution, how we can make it better and big. And so we will start from a rep from CHAS, Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High School rep. If there's, we are aware that, okay. Oh, let's appreciate them as they come. Please get them a mic for us. No, we'll get you a mic. And they'll do this under 3 minutes. I know many of us are coming from far. We will start with the 3 minutes, then as we go, we would begin to...
My 3 minutes starts now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And I think we are going to put this whole initiative in action. They should have given us more than 3 minutes, but we'll manage with the 3 minutes. On behalf of Charles, Honorable Tokuno, we have a lot of headmasters and headmistresses here, and it's to demonstrate our excitement about this whole initiative. We want to assure you of our readiness to take this project to its end. We pledge our support, and we are going to commit the entire school resources to ensure that this project becomes a successful one. What we would like to clear, even in this session, we heard about recruitment of a manager, and then also some farmhands from the National Service. We want to know whether we are supposed to apply, particularly when it comes to the farm manager, or it's going to just come from horticultural projects, from livestock to whatever. We want to know if those projects are also going to be captured into this initiative, and then how we are going to expand them. But just to give you the assurance, we are ready, and all we need is the support from staffing to the material that we require to make this project a successful one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my chair. I think, as he said, we are ready to support the initiative. It's a laudable idea, and definitely is going to help the schools. We are going to feed ourselves, indeed. And for these reasons, we need your support. GES, the money, the funds should come for this agric project, and we hope that we wouldn't be in want in terms of the fertilizers and the seeds and all the things we'll need for this project. Thank you very much, and we shall surely do it and make it big. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Charles, and you have made good use of your 3 minutes. Thank you. And let me mention that as we move along, we would have questions come, and Dr. Pitabo Amotikono will respond to it. Mr. Felix Jemfi would also respond to some of the questions that may come out of these engagements. Shall I invite reps from National Association of Teachers, NAT, if they are here? Okay, so we would move to Coalition of Concerned Teachers of Ghana. Do we have any rep here? Okay. We would do the National Union of Ghana Students, which is the mother body of all students' unions and groups in Ghana. And I've spotted their president here, so he will share with us his initial remarks then.
Yeah, thank you all very much. And to add our voices to the already mentioned issues and the positions espoused here, we, representing all Ghanaian students and with all our members present, we are also equally excited. Beyond the benefits of the program being that we would see students being fed from what they are growing, we also believe that it is a form of apprenticeship. It's a learning process. It's a way by which we are training the next generation. We hold that the youth are the leaders of today and tomorrow. And so, looking at where we have come from and where we are going, as a nation, many people are completing tertiary institutions in the thousands and are joining the Unemployed Graduates Association. And we believe that with these skills that we are all going to benefit from as students in these agric areas, students will be able to learn from it. They will be able to cultivate skills from this farming initiative. Personally, I am a testament to that even though I didn't get the opportunity to do any agric program in school, because of my love for farming and probably because at home we had a little backyard farming being done, always I'm into professional farming, and that's how I take care of myself. And I believe that students will learn from this. They will understand that even if I'm doing how to grow these crops, vegetables, cereals, legumes, and everything, and it will benefit us all very well. My General Secretary will add a bit, and then we'll.
Okay, sure. I commend the Office of the President and the Directorate for Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness for this inclusive and forward-thinking school farming initiative. At our end, we believe that, just like our President said, we believe this initiative is going to be a good one, which will benefit our school system. So at our end, we will also put in our maximum best to support the initiative, just like my President made mention. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, leadership of National Union of Ghana Students. We will hear from Nagrat if we have a rep from Nagrat here. Do we have a rep from Nagrat here? If not, we will take from the Regional Directorate of Education, GES, either Director General herself will do or Deputy will do that. Or they can appoint a representative.
Thank you very much. As we represent the region, I'm here with my science coordinator in DPT. I'll give it to my science coordinator to talk about what support we also have from the region to support our schools.
Thank you, Ma. Honorable Minister, we are so grateful for this initiative, and we pledge our support to the program. Greater Accra, we have about 48 secondary schools, roughly. We want to bring some information to your notice so that it will support the work in Greater Accra, and then that will be also cascade to the other cities, because we know we are the heart of Ghana. The weather issues, irrigation issues, and the space. And so we want to bring it to your notice. How are you going to help us to benefit? If not, it will be only the village people who are going to benefit from this initiative. To also consider the space ones and then the hydroponics. There is another type of farming we also want you to help. The micrograins, where the student can grow small vegetables to boost the nutrient level of their food. Apart from that, because of water issues in our city center, anytime we start farming, it becomes a challenge to continue. How are you going to help us with irrigation? So some of these challenges we want to bring to your notice. So we have birds issues, where we have migrating birds coming because we have wetlands all around. Those migration birds and their effect. Thank you so much.
So I want to add to what my CHAS members said. I visited a lot of schools, and then I know, like they said, some of them are already into farming, either poultry, some rear pigs and rabbits in their schools. They are already having them, and then you are now coming to add to the existing ones that we have. I want to say that those who have the farms already should be given the opportunity to come out to say whether they want to continue with those ones, or opportunity to say whether they want to continue, and any support that they want from the government, I think they should be listening to, and that should be given to them. We, as the regional office, will also say that we are committed to supporting this project to be successful. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think.
Director General, just to add, we want to reassure you, on behalf of the regional director, we want to reassure you that about the success of this initiative. It has come to light that it's a collaboration amongst GES, National Service, and GET Fund. And you are coordinating, your office will be coordinating the affairs of these three institutions. But within GES, we give you our assurance that we will also manage and coordinate the activities of the district MMDs and then the schools so that it will make your work easy. We thank you.
Thank you, Director General and her team, for your contributions and suggestions. Let's hear from the Ghana National Council of PTA's leadership. Right after them, we'll hear from the regional SRCs. Then we'll hear from Dr. Peter Buamot to respond to some of the questions that may have come up.
Thank you, MC. Coordinator, Office of the Presidential. As parents, no matter the cap you wear, the special cap you wear that nobody can take away from you is the parental cap. And that cap is tied to the child's umbilical cord. So as we are here, this whole project, if it will succeed, we must all see ourselves as parents and ensure that our children, our wards, they see this as part of new career paths, as part of culture space. All said and done, the information we need, the assurances we need, the safety protocols, if it has not been exhausted, at least 80% of it has been provided. What we need to do is to make sure that when this program is rolled out, there will not be any boardroom wranglings in our schools, because that is where it is going to be implemented. We as parents, we are the owners of our children, but together with the heads and the teachers in the school, we are co-owners of our children's future and their prosperity. So we hand over our children to heads and then teachers to support us to grow them up. Anything they will do to make sure that this project succeeds, they have 100% of our support and collaboration. But the only thing we will plead is that when these funds come, sustainability, the Bible has 66 chapters. It's only one chapter that talks about lamentations. The rest talks about hope and inspiration. If there are challenges with the program, if we are committed to make it succeed, at the base there, we always find ways and means to partner you people to make sure that the program succeeds. So let's make this thing succeed. Let's have another Operation Feed Yourself rolling in the system. And we are pleading that as we have done this at the various levels, we should let the committees work and work to make sure that they can also resource the system for this project to grow, and then make sure that Ghana, in terms of food security and safety of our children in our schools, our children don't learn under hunger. We don't go for PTA meetings and behind the scenes we hear the ake try to find a way to support us. If we have PTA funds to support any activity, we will not only be concentrating on infrastructure or other logistics, we will also put some of our funds to make sure that this project succeeds and becomes a novelty for God and country. On behalf of the National Council of PTA, on behalf of our National President, Mr. Christian Achu-Akins, the leadership at various levels from the school base, the region, and the national level, we want to assure the presidency and all of us in this room that we will make sure that the school farms become a center of excellence and a gathering moment for our farmers and our parents in their homes to come and learn something from the school and take it back to their farms. Thank you, and God bless our homeland.
Thank you so much. The Ghana National Council of PTAs. And do we have reps from the regional SRCs? I have seen her around. Please, rep from regional SRC, please, let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. SRC, we are for truth and for progress. And we believe that this is an initiative that is going to contribute to the progress of our feeding schedule. For us as students, we are ready. We have our heads who also serve as our mothers or fathers in our schools. We believe that whatever course that they will chart, we will follow. All that we are asking, I think the Chief of Staff mentioned it, that it is not channeled into the notion to go and work. When that happens, the whole notion of farming to feed or learning how to do this for our own good will be changed. And so that is what we are asking from our heads. We are here to support. My girls and boys, I think we have the pledge. We are here to support, and we'll make this work. Thank you very much. When we open the floor for questions, I think that we have a lot of questions that we'll ask to help us understand clearly what will be happening. Thanks so much.
Thank you. At this point, we'll take some feedback, some commentary from Dr. Otukono.
Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And we are very grateful for your insightful views and your comments and questions. I'll attempt to use this opportunity to respond to some of them, but also to throw more light on what we seek to do with this initiative. And so the first question came from Charles, the representatives of Charles, and they wanted to inquire about the school farm managers and assistants, the recruitment processes. As I mentioned earlier, these officers are going to be non-teaching staff in your schools who would be recruited because of their specialized background in agriculture. We are designing the framework for those qualifications, but the president has directed that the college graduates from the agri colleges across the country who over the years have not been employed, be employed to perform these tasks. And so mostly all the officers that will be brought to your schools to man the school farms would be agri-college graduates who have the necessary skills and abilities to, out of these graduates, who would be able to efficiently manage your farms on your behalf. Then we have also observed that most of the schools have, and we know more that you can expand. If you are doing poultry, we expand. Ostensibly, the idea is to provide enough food, not only to feed your school, but also to feed the country. And so some of your products will go to the markets. In fact, what we are planning with Get Fund is that there would be a form of a commodity exchange among the schools, because it's not every school that can have a poultry farm. It's not every school that can do maize. It's not every school that can do rice. And so under the initiative, we are enclaving the production. And so there would be regions where we would cultivate grains. Maybe if we deploy modern technology, which we are going to do as part of this initiative, I'll speak to that very soon. Unless we deploy those modern technologies, you can do some vegetables. But mostly in urban areas where the schools don't have lands, what we intend to do is to upscale the production of livestock, particularly poultry, rabbits, and sheep and goats. And so we are going to provide all the inputs, the breeds, and sometimes the feeding, so that you would be able to efficiently produce enough for your school and for the market. And so, Father, we heard your cry. And from here, I would inspect the poultry facility. And I assure you that as early as possible, we would make arrangements to see if you can get it underway immediately. Then the rabbits. So under the initiative, we are targeting 7 food crops. So under the Feed Ghana program, because of our relative focus on, or our relative consumption of particular food crops, we have selected 7 food crops that we are targeting under the Feed Ghana program. We can go beyond that 7 food crop depending on the quality of your land, the soil quality. We can go beyond that. But under the program, we are targeting these 7 food crops: rice, maize, sorghum, soya bean, onion, tomatoes. Maybe if you want to stretch a little, you go to cassava and you go to yam. And so all these are areas that we are going to look at. Then under livestock, we are going to do mainly poultry. So we'll do broiler poultry and we do layer poultry. We know that mostly the schools, the nutritional challenge you have is with the protein sources. And so the intention is to introduce the increased production of broiler products so that you are able to include some meats into your food mix. Then we would also be doing aquaculture. Depending on the location of the school and the facilities availability of water, we are going to be doing aquaculture on the circumstances in your school. The availability of land, the quality of the soil, the availability of space, and the geographical location. And so that is what is going to drive this initiative. Indeed, Get Fund has intimated earlier how they are funding this project. Essentially, what we want to do for the effective management of this program is that direct funds may not be released to the schools, except maybe under special circumstances. But every input that is required will be provided. So seeds will be provided, fertilizer will be provided, mechanization will be provided. Our plan is that every single region we are going to make a mechanization setup that will serve all the schools and prepare your land ahead of the season so that it is possible to make agriculture as sexy as possible, so that our young men and women in school would love to participate. It wouldn't be a conduit for punishment. So some of you will be learning how to ride tractors and how to plow with, a mechanized implement. You understand? How to use harrows and all that. That is the intention, so that it excites you to go and work on the farm. If you know that when you go to the farm, you get the opportunity to treat the tractor, wouldn't you go? You will go. And so those are some of the things we are trying to put in place so that it also helps in the uptake of, modern agriculture technologies. And for those schools that do not have large tracts of land, we are going to be training the school farm managers and those who are going to work on those farms, including the students, in modern technologies of farming, like vertical farming, hydroponics, aquaponics where necessary, so that we are able to adopt those modern trends and be able to even implement them in our backyards when we are back home. We have a program that we'll be working on very soon that the president wants us to do so that we can encourage people to even cultivate in their homes. And so these are the things that we'll be training people on so that you would be able to do those kind of vertical farming methods. And so, Father, even on your campus here, we know you don't have land, but you can grow a lot of vegetables through the vertical farming program, which we are going to train your people on, so that in a small space, in fact, if you have a space as a quarter of this room, you can grow about 10-acre worth of vegetables every time, with the vertical farming. And so we are going to do that training as well. Then there was a question about the quality of the soil in some schools in Greater Accra. I think I've responded to that. We are also going to provide some mechanized irrigation systems using boreholes. And so there are some devices that the Ministry of Agric, are deploying, where you have the borehole and you mechanize the water, use underground water to irrigate. And as part of the modern technologies that we are going to use, we intend to deploy methods that do not use large amounts of water. And so, for example, if you don't have enough water in your area and we are able to give you a borehole and you are able to put a drip system in place, you would be able to grow a lot of vegetables without using large amounts of water. And so it's going to be case by case, basis. Depending on your school and your local conditions, then we'll devise which method would be useful on your campus. Then the issue about diseases. I'm sure you were talking about diseases when you were speaking about the birds. And so the kind of facilities that we are going to develop or help develop for the schools would have biosafety in mind. And so the thing about agriculture is that it is highly risky and it has a lot of ups and downs. And this is what we have in mind in designing this program. We know that, for example, if we just give you the birds and we say, oh, go and do poultry, if you are not careful, avian flu will kill all of them. And so there is a need for us to train the managers of the farm and the handlers, including the students, on how to observe strict biosafety protocols so that you don't lose your crops or your livestock. And so it's going to be a key central part of the initiative. Then the question again about those who have the farms, will we allow them to continue? Yes, you have to continue your farm. We would allow you to continue. In fact, we are excited about those who already have the farms because they provide some level of experience, already existing experience, upon which we can build and upskill. And so when you have a school farm, it is very good news, and it means that we would even invest a little in infrastructure and other things to make sure we are able to produce. And so basically, these are some of the questions and concerns that came up. But I would want to assure all of you that this initiative has sustainability at its heart. And we want this initiative to outlive all of us sitting here so that we can feel the real impact of this initiative. And that is why we are making arrangements for the school farm committees on campus. And so the committee that will be chaired by the headmistress would have the PTAs as members, will have the student leaders as members, will have the school farm managers as members, and so on, so that there is complete accountability and proper oversight in the management of the farm. We believe that if we manage it very well, it could be a huge source of IGF for our schools, and the schools are going to be better in your financing. And so we are providing this arrangement to make sure that the management is, proper management and there is compliance and all that. And there is going to be a project office that will be housed at Get Fund that would be monitoring and picking feedback and all that to manage the effective distribution of these inputs and the mechanization services. Because as I said, before every season, it is our belief and it is our plan that we will provide all inputs before the season starts. One of the challenges that we have in the existing, programs that we have done is that the inputs will come, but they come late. And so by the time they come, the season has ended. And when they bring the seeds and you decide to plant them, you lose everything, and your yield becomes low. So what we anticipate to do is to employ agri-technology to even advise when to grow your crop and all that, so that if you are fully prepared ahead of the season. Sometimes the rains can be very tricky. That is if you are doing rain-fed agriculture. They will give you a small signal that they are starting, then they go off. But now there are modern tools. There are more modern agro-technology tools that can help us to predict whether the rains are really going to start and we are going to get the planting period correct or not. And we are going to deploy all these tools to make sure that we become efficient. So we'll thank you once again. And maybe, MC, I don't know if you will give opportunity for the students to also ask questions, if any. Then we can respond to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Otokono. And so I'm sure Doc might have touched on the many questions that may be in your mind. So if your question in any way was addressed here, you may not want to repeat it again so that we can save time and leave here. We will start with a general plenary where we take questions, concerns from anyone here who has some kind of contributions. But before that, let's take the contribution from Conference of Managers of Education Unit. We missed them earlier, so if their leadership over here, they can just quickly do that, then we can do the second round of input. So please, let's do it. Let's acknowledge them while we...
Good afternoon to you all. Please, I am so impressed with this project, but I have some few questions to it. Some have been touched partially, so I will want the other part to be touched. Number one, we've all heard from the heads that many schools are already doing something. I wanted to have heard from the initiative that those who are doing something, how have they been helped? How have the work that is already there has been looked at? We are going to give machines to this new one. Have they been supported with machines, other things that will improve what is already existing? Then we look at putting in new one. Now we have also been assured by Get Fund of support. In fact, every parent will want to support his or her child to every level as possible. But when the parent dies, what happens? So how are we going to be assured that they have sustainable resource to continue to support? Sometimes you see that they will engage in putting up a structure. Money gets finished and the structure is left in the bush. Is the money going to be available continuously? As for the support there, you'll be willing to support. But will the finance be there? We will be assured where the finance will be coming from that will sustain this farming, that it will live to outlive us, as we have been assured. I will be so grateful. Then, yes, so let me limit to these two. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rep from Komio. So shall we, so we're going to do this in 3 or 4 contributions in a row, then Doc will respond, then we'll come back. And so if I see a hand over there, another hand over there, and one, we'll take the first 3. So if you could. You mention your name and your institution.
So my name is Betty Bois. I'm the Greater Accra Science, Technology, Mathematics, and Innovation Education Coordinator, STMIE. I'm on my feet again because when Minister was speaking, he was talking about deploying technology. And when you look at our new curriculum, everything is about technology. So how are you going to use the students who are already being trained to develop technologies for this, to bring out the technologies for the various farming? Because as we are speaking now, we have students who are using Arduinos to develop irrigation system and other things. So I'm just recommending that you have the people there, the students are ready to do with this technology. I pray that we will not import a lot of them, but we should look within and see how best we can train our students to use the technology they are learning to support the school farm for sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for giving me the opportunity. My name is Ebenezer Ofosu Entry, the HOD of Agric of Odan Senior High School. I represent my headmaster, Mr. Eric Amwa, who also doubles as the ITAC president, Agric Education and Trainers Association of Ghana. On my way coming, anyway, he sends its gratitude to the leadership of this program for such an initiative. It's a great program that the ITAC as an association embraces. Have actually dealt with most of them. But while sitting down, one of them also occurred. When I took over as an HOD, we had a hectare of cocoa, and then about 2 acres of oil palm. Maintenance culture on the cocoa farm has improved. We fell the oil palm, and the farm has been extended to 1 hectare, from 2 acres to 1 hectare. 1 hectare is 4 acres. Now, we wish to extend the farms the more, but we are faced with huge challenge. And the challenge is, if you notice, most of the Dr. Kwame Nkrumah schools in the hinterland have 1 mile square of land. As I speak to you, or to this August House, the landed projects of the school will not cover about 1/4 of the 1 mile square, even including the farms that we have. Why? Because the deeds of the land title is such that it's so flexible to the traditional land owners. They are still farming on this land, and any attempt to do extension of the school farms is met with, yes, rift. So how is the leadership of this noble initiative going to help so that we reclaim our land from these traditional owners as a school? Thank you so much.
I'm Sally Amakeda Akwatopi, Headmistress, Holy Trinity Cathedral. I'm very excited that the students' engagement or students' input is going to be allowed, because this is a consultative meeting. I'm saying so because when it comes to cultivating plants, in the past we have been doing Green Ghana Day and growing plants. Having water is one issue, and I'm happy that the parents are going to get involved. Getting the students to water the plants, especially during dry season, is another headache. So, Director, I want you to take a critical look at that. Again, my school is in the city of Accra. No land space for normal agricultural cultivation. However, I share boundary with the Atlantic Ocean. So I want to know what you can do in terms of how we can leverage on the Atlantic Ocean to get our aquaculture. And then that brings to mind safety and protection issue. There are schools that don't have walls. If you have a boys' school with 5,000 population and buffer stock food delays in coming, I can assure you that if you have a large tract of maize farm, you can get them boiling in buckets, and within a month or less, you might lose. Assuming I'm doing aquaculture in the Atlantic Ocean, how safe can my products be? Thank you.
Thank you. Safety is well noted. Before that, let's hear from the students.
Okay, so let me deal with this ones because it's getting more exciting. I didn't know my headmistress was here. You know, I attended Otcas. Yes. That's my alma mater. So I couldn't allow anybody to speak. I have to speak before anybody else comes in to dilute it. Yesterday, I had the rare opportunity to speak to the headmistress at the time, Madam Sarah Hagan. It's been a long time since I heard from her. Out of the blue, I got a text message. Then he said, Madam Sarah, I said, hey, Aquile. We used to call her Aquile. I am very much aware about the situation on campus. I recall about, unfortunately, the Anglican Church had a land that they had purpose for that. And I had secured the arrangements to build it. But Otcas has a very unique situation. There's no space, and there is the sea. I don't know if we should do desalination so that we can, but we can devise methods of growing crops. I know there are a few backyards where we can lift, the vertical pipes and grow even vegetables. Essentially, what we want to do is to make sure that every student have a feel of some form of agriculture before they leave school. When we were there, you hardly see green. The only green you see is in front of the chapel. And so I think that we can still do something with schools like Otcas. And I will take personal interest in that one. You are rest assured. I will come and see to it that at least but maybe not with the seawater. So we can develop some tanks, at the small corner behind the science block. I don't know if that small space is still there. My classroom. If it's still there, we can still develop some options. Indeed, it is true. Students can be very creative. I was very creative when I was a student. So I can understand your fears. When there is even food, they can still be very creative. But when you labor and you are enjoying out of your labor, it's not a crime. Is it a crime? So this would also go to the school authorities. When the students cultivate the crop, let them enjoy some. And so when they have cultivated maize and the maize is fresh, one day boil some for them to also enjoy. So they see that headmistress is roasting corn and it's smelling good and they don't get some to eat. What do you expect? They will be creative. So let's bear in mind how we manage this so that it will be an inclusive process. If we do it very well, there will not be food shortage. Because the essence of doing this is to be able to address the issues of food shortage and food supply delays. If we are able to do it very well, we would be able to even generate IGF that will allow us to manage some of these difficult situations should they come up. And so let's see how we manage with the processes to deal with this one. Then the issue about encroachment on lands, on school lands, is a national issue. And when we started this initiative, those were one of the key things that came up in our engagement with GES. And we know most of the school lands have been encroached. Our intention beyond just this launch is to get government and the local authorities to engage the traditional authorities so that in cases where they can give some additional land space for additional cultivation, they can do that. Then maybe when your school has a unique problem of not being able to secure the documentations on your school, maybe we can use the office to facilitate the process so that you can get those documents regularized, so that you do not have that problem. But I am particularly excited that you are doing cocoa and you are doing some palm. In fact, we are under the Office of the President this year. Between this year and next year, we are doing the coconut seedling distribution initiative, and we are distributing. We can bring you coconuts, then you grow. But bear in mind that these are industrial crops, and so you may not be able to help to meet your food needs, but it will help in your IGF, your cash flow. So if you have bigger lands and you want to use some to do cocoa, great news. If you want to use some to do palm, great news. You want to do coconut, great news, because these are high-value tradable cash crops, which would help you generate some IGF. But we want to encourage you as part of this initiative to do more of the food crops so that we would be able to save the food needs of the country. For example, if you are doing cocoa and coconut, you may not be able to benefit from the arrangements under this initiative, but under other programs, you may be able to benefit from that. We want to encourage all of us to do food crops, target food crops, so that we solve the food needs and reduce food inflation as well. Then there was a question about sustainability get fund. Would they get the money? This is very, very important. And this is a factor that was considered at inception. In fact, we know to be able to do such an initiative sustainably, funding would be key. But as I mentioned earlier, last year alone, government spent 2.8 billion Ghana cedi on food for second cycle institutions. And guess what? About 70% of those foods were imported. And so we created the jobs for other people in their countries. Now, from the analysis we did, if we are able to do this efficiently under the same free SHS budget without going beyond, and so that's the whole idea of this. The thing about agriculture is that when you put one in the soil, you can get 100. And so that small money, when you put it in the soil, you would be able to produce enough to feed the students and even supply some to the market. And that is the whole idea under this. And we hope that when we do that, we would be able to spend even less on school feeding and make it sustainable. And so that's the whole idea. So we are very confident about sustainability. We are very, very confident about sustainability. Then there was Madam Science. We know our students are very innovative. Indeed, most of the tools that I'm speaking about were designed by students. Some in the secondary schools, some in the universities. And so we are going to leverage those innovations as much as possible. If you have any student that has designed any project or created any product that can be very useful in this field, I beg you, my office, it is always open. Come to my office, let's share. Let's see how we can support the student and the school to upscale so that other schools can also benefit from those ideas. That is the essence of education. Then the question about the already a little bit. But what I said is that everything, all we need to do is to support you and upscale. The accounts have a saying, near Mbuano Edino, that, you know, in the past has not received support. Now there is an initiative to solve that problem, to provide that support. So we'll start from here. Any school that have a school farm, we are under the initiative, we are starting with 200 schools across the country this year. Next year, we hope to do all secondary schools as much as possible, all secondary schools. And so with the 200 that we are going to select this year, most of them have the school farms already. Some too do not have at all. So we'll put in the needed arrangements and structures to make sure that they are able to start. Then the ones that are already doing, we give them more impetus, support them, and make them more efficient to be able to produce. Thank you very much. Maybe, Ima, because of the time and the fact that, you know, school is still in session, let's do the students, then we can wrap it up. But let me announce that anybody who has any view or comments or concern or question at all that you want to share with us, you can share that message at info@pr.gov.gh. info@pr.gov.gh. Or you can put it in writing and bring it to the office of the president, or send it to GES or Get Fund or National Service Authority, and we would compile all those comments and concerns to make sure that in the delivery and implementation process, we employ them to become efficient. And so, Ima, let's pick the last group.
Let's hear from our students. So we'll take one here. There's a gentleman here, and we'll do one from there and one from behind. He hasn't raised up his hand. The mic.
Okay. Please, thank you for this opportunity. Please, my name is Kingsley Cooper, and I'm the SRC president and head prefect for Presbyterian Senior High School La. Please, this initiative is a very strong one, but I would like to tell this noble house that in most schools, this initiative will be mostly done by the agric and science students mostly, and not involving the arts and economic students. So I would just like to ask, is there a way to make it more compulsory for other students, or rather make it a core subject so that it will be more interactive and last longer? Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much. I would like to use this opportunity to address the high table, the stakeholders, and every person present, and the distinguished guests. So actually, I've come to make a contribution and actually a question too. I'm actually excited and actually happy about this kind of development which is being brought to our secondary schools, because from what I heard, I realized that the government is putting a lot of money into our feeding, and it is costing them so much. And so the innovative skills of our president and the ministers together is so profound into thinking in an innovative way to seeing how they can better our food and how they can also save money to better other aspects of the country. And so I actually praise this kind of innovative thinking, because I believe it is something which will go very far. And the way it has been put into every single school to make sure that every single school be able to produce something for themselves. And the way it was even said, it shows us that the president shows a certain kind of love for us, because he's trying to show us that he cares for the future, because he's bringing this to the senior high schools. And so actually, since our honorable said, he said, our honorable said there was once an initiative called the Feed Yourself. So I wanted to ask if there have been measures put in place to make sure that what happened to the past one will not continue to the next one. Thank you very much.
Okay, so my name is Chris Aivmauto, a student of West African Senior High School. And I've observed that in recent years, that's in past governments, there's this sense of halt in projects as there's change in governments. So I would like to know how assured we are, as in maybe how is this project going to go on if there's change in governments. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. My name is Mante Confidence Tete, the school prefect of Granada Senior High School. We already have a farming activity in the school, and we try to put up our best to start this program. But the only problem we are facing is cattle coming to destroy our food crops, and we try to drag them out, and the cow herdsmen attack us, try to fight the student body. So I'm asking this question, if the government can do something about that, so that the experience we have in farming crops in the school will become successful. Thank you.
My name is Osio Kwamukufo, an accounting student of St. Thomas Aquinas. And my question is, once the school farm initiative has begun in all secondary schools, the effect it will have on students' classes hours. A suggestion is that this initiative is mainly for the agric students. So my suggestion is that for the accounting general students, if they could take part in this initiative, such as managing the finances and general arts publicizing in its localities. Thank you.
Borehole. I think the EC of borehole water is very high in Accra here. So I want to suggest that if there is something else we can do about that, because I know the EC of borehole water is very high, so I think we should look at that before doing. And the EC of pepper, especially seedlings, something like pepper plants, the EC for pepper is it's 0.5. And then I believe that the EC of borehole is more than even 2 point anything. Yeah, so please, I think we should look at that.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Saki Omega from Adan Senior High Technical. Please, as a student as I am, I was admitted into my school as an agric student, but for some challenges, I changed the course to pursue general arts. But still, when I go on vacation, I do try to do something. So what I focus on is mushroom cultivation, which can be done indoors. And putting up a small wooden structure, you can cultivate a larger number of quantity of mushrooms. Okay, so this is my suggestion. So I know this program is a very good program that will help we as students. But also, considering the double track system we are in right now, will also help because when Form 3s are in the house, Form 1s are in school to support. When Form 2s are out, Form 3s are in to support. Yes, so after considering all these ones, and we all know that right now our calendar have been squeezed. The number of time, the days we spend in school is very limited. So including the students, won't it affect our academic performance?
Saint Thomas Aquinas. Saint Thomas Aquinas. Saint Thomas Aquinas. That's good, boys. I like my boys. Before I start my question, I want every Aquinas boys to be on their feet and give a round of applause to our headmaster. On your feet, boys. On your feet, he deserves it. Don't worry. Please, I have 5 questions, but I'll keep it very short. Very, very short. Okay, 1. I want to know if the Akwarot people embezzling their produce, their farm produce, what would be the sanctions against them? Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Kandatam Justice, the president for St. Joseph Technical Institute. Minister, throughout the presentation, I've heard you mention of the secondary senior high schools. My concern is, I am a technical student. So what happens to we, the technical students, who do not have some of the agricultural programs part of our curriculum? Do we also have some special offers for us? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think today has felt very nostalgic because I recollect my time in school. And anytime there's a gathering like this, me too, I must talk some. And I will come with my Latin quotes, and I'll quote Latin like 10 before I start talking. I'll get all the fans. So, very quick one, because GTV is live, and they are going to go off 10 minutes to 2. So let me quickly respond to the issues. So the first question was from the gentleman from Presekla, the school prefect, who was asking whether this program is limited to only the science and agri students. Absolutely not. It is not restricted at all. Whether you are doing visual art, general art, home economics, you are part of this program. And so the headmasters and the headmistresses and GES together would design their own approach to get you to work on the farm. Everybody will be able to experience the farm, whether you are doing agri or not. So they are going to handle that at the school level. But you should be rest assured that you don't need to be an agri science person to be able to work on the farm. For the agri science students, the farm would be the field for practicals. It would be an opportunity to do practicals, but it doesn't mean that the other non-science students cannot participate. Then the second question, I missed the school, but ostensibly he wanted to find out whether past mistakes of past programs will not be repeated. And if you have listened carefully, you have seen that the past mistakes have been outlined, and we have preferred solutions to deal with them so that we don't repeat. And one of the past mistakes perhaps is what the last but one questioner from St. Thomas Aquinas asked. So the corrupt ones who will be embezzling the crops. Madam, the question you asked, you were talking about the students embezzling the crops. Now the students are also talking about the others embezzling. And so that is why we have decided to form the school farm committee on all the campuses, so that there are multiple players on the committee to monitor the performance, the distribution, and the usage of inputs that are brought in and products that are produced. And so we believe that this monitoring mechanism that we are putting in place would help as much as possible to eliminate the problems of moral hazard and, if you want, adverse selection. Projects that are started by other governments, I don't know whether I got it right, whether this one would also be halted. I am sure whoever will come and halt school farms would have a big problem to deal with. Just like free SHS. I lie. So I do not foresee that. Then the gentleman from Ganata, the school prefect from Ganata, the question about the cattle headers creating problems, the farmer header conflicts. We know that most of the schools also experience this. This is something that as a government we are trying to confront head on, generally. And particularly as we are going to do this initiative, areas where, these headers, these nomads, graze, we must make sure that we look at them. Together with the cattle for the cattle farmers, particularly the Fulanis. And we are hoping to encourage most of them to start doing intensive production of the cattle using fodder banks and all that. And so it's something that we are working on, and I believe that gradually we would be able to eliminate that challenge. Elsewhere, you will not go and see cattle, roaming without, any restriction. So then I think the question again on the Greek students was repeated, and I've answered that. Then there was a question about the borehole and the EC content and the one in Pepe and all that. Exactly. Every single geographical location or where you dig your borehole determines the type of water that you get from the soil. And so as part of the initiative to design sustainable irrigation underground water systems, they will have to test the water before they use that for irrigation. And so be rest assured, we are not going to give you salt water to water your crops and have other unwanted chemicals or minerals go into the food crops. Then the point about mushroom cultivation, that's very exciting. In fact, the point has been made amply. You don't need to be an agric student to be able to do agriculture. I started as a science student in Otkas and wanted to become a medical doctor. In fact, I pursued medicine even when I was studying agric in University of Ghana. The intent was to go and do postgraduate medicine. So I studied animal science instead of going to do agric economics. But as fate will have it, we don't carry our fate. I am still here and I am doing agric. And so you don't really need to be an agric person to be able to be an effective agriculturist. Indeed, our forefathers who started farming, were they studying agric science in school? But they have all the knowledge and skills, and they are able to do it efficiently. Some of them are even good at plant breeding plants, than those of us who have sat in the biotechnology classroom. And so it's a very important one. So I think at this point, let me use this opportunity on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, this initiative already. And I want to assure you that as much as possible, we would make sure this initiative work not only for the benefit of your schools, but most importantly, in transferring skills and knowledge to our young people and building a sustainable future. Next month, we are going to do the lunch. After the lunch, already we are together with GES selecting the first 200 schools. The 200 schools that we are going to start this year, we are going to communicate to you. Those that will join next year to... We are currently going out of season. Those in the Northern Belt may go completely in Tamale for the Northern Belt Consultative you have shared, and would make sure that it finds its way into the implementation processes. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Poama Otukono. I think we've had a very good show today. Do you agree with me? Yes, from the various speakers who have spoken to us, from the Chief of Staff of the Republic, Honorable Julius Deborah, who did amazing, to our Director of Presidential Initiative and Agribusiness, to GES Rep, Madam, who is here with us, to National Service DG, who was also here with us, and to the Get Fund Deputy Administrator, who also was here with us. And it's been an amazing engagement. We've had leadership of Charles, speak to us. We have NAGRAT, we've had NAT, CCT, National Council for PTAs, COMIO, and regional SRC students. We've also had a meeting. We have taken notes, and I'm sure in the coming days, we would put out further details on this initiative. Let me acknowledge that we've had some directors from the regions. That's Conference of Directors, I'm to code. I don't know if I got it right. And there are other groups within GES that we haven't acknowledged yet. And so let me mention that everybody is duly, before we leave here, the administrator for the presidential initiatives and in Agri. Colleagues, we want to thank all of you on behalf of the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for making time to be part of this consultative meeting. It is his initiative. We are just partakers of the dream, and we are driving it for him. In the end, we'll be able to save 30 to 50% of the school feeding budgets as said by Director. And so we want to implore all of us to be involved. Before we leave, shall we take some few announcements? And we have prepared for every one of us a lunch package. And so don't be in a haste to move. I know our students are very excited about it. And the lunch package is not only for the students, it's for our directors and our parents and everybody here. And so
we'll look at the order of sharing and departing and in dealing with this. We'll deal with our parents and directors first. Our students will have to remain seated while we sort everyone out. So we want to thank all of you for making time to be part of this. Our media partners, let me acknowledge them. Joy News, TV3, City TV, GTV, UTV, Metro TV, Wazer TV, TVXYZ, Angel TV, Accra FM, Radio Gold, and we have some bloggers over here, 1957. The Ghanaian farmer, Enyonam, was here, and a host of all of you that made time to be part of this consultative meeting. We would take a closing prayer, but before we do that, we will do some badge of photographs. And so when we are done, please don't be in a haste to move. Do we have the chaplain here? Or our original, okay, your father will do that. Okay, thank you.
Shall we please rise and pray? We pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful initiative for our President. We thank you, Lord, for today's engagement. We thank you, Lord, for views that have been shared and expressed. We pray that, Lord, you may grant us the necessary graces and strength we need so that we can see this initiative being brought to its birth, so that indeed the food security of our nation and our schools will be assured. We pray that, Lord, you may be with us and help all that we have gone through here to bear the needed fruits, all in the interest of this initiative and in the interest of our nation, Ghana. We make our prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
We'll do some badge of photography.